Hey guys, so we're going to build a floating shelf with nothing more than a 2x8. It's going to be bracket free, so it's just going to look like it's floating, and it's going to be strong enough to hold a baby just as soon as I find one. We are at 18 bush lattes and a 5-pound jug of whey protein, which gives us a grand total of 20 pounds. Not moving. Let's see how much we can push this thing. Okay, this is a 2x8 by 8 footer. I'm doing 2 shelves. Probably should have got a 10 footer and did 3 shelves, and I'll explain why later, but you need one 8 footer for sure. Also, I'm doing paint, so this has clear coat built in, but you don't have to do paint. I'm just doing it because the place I'm putting it, the paint will match perfectly. I already have this paid for. Also, you can stain it, so you don't have to do paint, and if you do stain it and it doesn't have any clear coat built in, you're going to need some type of spray like this. Some type of glaze or clear coat to put on there, keep the wood safe. Screws, I went real big on these screws. These are 3 3/8, and you could probably hang a car with these things. We'll see. Stay tuned. So these are the ones I got, and there are $11 for this whole box, which is crazy. Dowel rods, 1/2-inch dowel rod, 12 inches long. You only need about 8 inches long maximum, so a little overkill, but we can cut them down. And of course, a baby. Still working on that. We'll keep you posted. So the reason behind the 10-foot board versus an 8-foot if you need 3 is we need you to do 34 inches for each shelf. And the reason is studs are spaced every 16 inches on a wall. For instance, there's a stud here, there's a stud here, there's a stud here. And we need you to have 3 different connections on that board. So you would probably prefer to get both sides and the middle. So we need to have the shelf lined, have 3 main connections, and that will keep it up strong enough to hold this baby. So now we got our 2x8 by 36 inch, and I'm going to put it about here. Guys, before you actually drill in here, I would suggest you get permission from the female of the house to do that. If you don't have one there, then you're good to go. But what we need to do is we need to find where the studs are. So I know that there's a stud here because that's holding drywall. So I'm going to make an X over here. And then I'm going to use the stud finder to find the next one, which is right there. Put another mark there. And then there should be one more right there. The trick is once you hear the beep, go over about 3/4 of an inch because that's the center of the stud. A stud is 1.5 inches. So 3/4 from the time you hear the beep, go over 3/4 of an inch, and that's your line for the middle of the stud. So I have my 3 marks, and I cannot put my dowel rods in these 3 spots because I'm going to be popping screws through those 3 marks. So every other area, I'm going to drill through with a 1/2 inch bit, same width as a dowel rod. Then we're going to split this with a table saw, put the dowel rods all the way through, then the screws will only have to go through to here, and then we'll push the rest of the shelf on. It'll make more sense once we get going, so come with me and we'll go figure it out. To give you guys a better idea of what we're doing, the lines are where the studs were that we just marked. The circles, I'm going to drill through with this, and it's a little bit longer than a dowel rod. So that's exactly what I want. And they're going to go in each of the holes that I've marked here. Obviously, these holes are perfectly lined up, so don't worry about that. Okay, we're in. That took a lot more beating than I thought it was going to take, and it's because my pegs were not perfectly straight. So when you do it, make them as straight as possible. Maybe if you have a drill press, that'd be even better. And I don't have a baby. Check this out to see what that was about.
That's it. Look at you go.
All right, first up, 5 pounds of whey protein. I don't see a problem here. Boom. I've also discovered that road pops are 0.8 pounds each. So we're going to do in increments of 6-pack because 6 road pops is equivalent to 5 pounds. That's 10 pounds, no problem. Another 5 pounds, 15 pounds, not even budging, men. We are at 18 bush lattes and a 5-pound jug of whey protein, which gives us a grand total of 20 pounds. Not moving. Let's see how much we can push this thing. This is a 12-pack of Truly left by a friend. Don't judge me. But that's another 10 pounds going for a total of 30 pounds on this shelf with no brackets whatsoever. It's not moving. It's not moving. Like this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. How many babies could I have put up on this thing? I kind of lost count here. I think we're at 34 pounds, maybe 35. I don't know, but it's a lot. And it's not bending. Like it's not moving whatsoever. So 6 dowel rods, 1 2x8, 3 screws, and you could probably put 6 babies up here. I gotta get to work. I'll talk to you guys later.